Soul family, welcome to today's spirituality retreat for this full moon in Aquarius. My name is Christie Ramirez and I'm your health and wellness expert. Welcome to our spirituality retreat. This is a special two-part event that I host every month, twice a month, for every new and full moon. We begin with our spiritual talk where we talk about the energies, what I am intuitively feeling is our focus of healing for the next 2 weeks, and then we end with a nice sample healing session of 10 to 15 minutes to really help us to realign and cleanse our aura so that we may step out of here purified and ready for this new cycle. So I am feeling really great energy for this full moon in Aquarius. This is the second full moon in Aquarius back to back that we have this year, right after the Lion's Gate, which was the new moon in Leo. So it is a very potent time for these new beginnings, these new portal openings that I've been talking about, opened up for us on August 8th. And now that we are on August 21st, I believe, right? This is now the culmination of this portal. So it's like you don't want to miss the train. That's the kind of energy that I'm feeling. And there's a lot of changes that have been happening these past 2 to even 3-4 weeks that it's been even hectic and overwhelming. It's just been changes out of nowhere and just a whole bunch of changes, right? So it's been keeping us busy and it's been keeping us focused also on the bigger picture. So with this full moon in Aquarius, it's the perfect way to end the weekend and begin the next week fresh. So there's something new that we're going to begin this coming week, and this new cycle might last only 2 weeks because then we have the new moon, but it's a very important 2 weeks because whatever you do in these 2 weeks, it's going to serve you for the future. So whatever that may be, whether that be relationship wise, whether that be regarding your health, whether that be a project that you're working on, your career, your future steps, what's next for you in this life, right? So all of these questions are coming out because it's a major turning point for all of us, and whatever we decide these next 2 weeks is going to determine the next few years. So it's quite that powerful, and it can feel a little pressuring as well, right? Because who wants to be put on the spot and made to decide right now our future? Like, everything in our future lies in our hands right now. So it's kind of like whoa, God, slow down, right? But that's just the energy. It's very fast paced, very quick, and just, I guess, as a piece of guidance and advice, is just to treasure every moment, because every moment is still continuous to be precious. So enjoy the journey and learn to pace yourself even if you have a lot to do. All right, so where do we begin? I feel like I've been meditating a lot on these energies, and I've even taken a retreat myself. I took a step back even from my business because I really needed some time to myself. But now this weekend I feel refreshed and I feel ready to come back in the spotlight, ready to even, get back to school with my soul coaching brand. So all of this is kind of like preparing us for the new season in a way, right? It's like the new school year. And whatever you've been working on, these past few years specifically, like these new projects that have been culminating since last year, 2020, and now are being brought to a new fruition point where it's like the real thing now. And now we're leveling up. It's kind of like what I said on my 2-year anniversary for soul coaching. My first year in soul coaching, believe it or not, was actually a whole brainstorm year. It was a practice year for me because I ended up redoing everything the second year. And now that this second year has passed, I'm officially entering my 3rd year in soul coaching. My second year has served as now the foundation point to where to continue to build off this new 3rd year and the coming years after this. So I'm not going to restart what I did, everything in my School of Light, my classes that I've taught, and everything that I've done in my spiritual counseling TV network. It's there to stay. But now it's just continuing, right? It's like now watering the plants so that it can grow into its fullest potential, so that the flowers can blossom. And that is the energy for your life in specific. So it's very powerful, it's very beautiful, and I'm excited. So what's coming next? Because I feel like what's coming next is better than ever. And we have been asked this past week to wait, because it will get better. So if you were anxious to do something, but it wasn't yet the right time, now you're given the green light to go for it, because it is the right time now. And now it's going to be better than if you would have tried to rush it back a few weeks back, right? So interesting, because when we see clearly now through the eyes of truly spiritually awoken eyes, right? Because that's what meditation gives us basically. It's just a clearer lens. And I hope that many of you have been meditating a lot, and if you haven't, I actually upgraded my new mindful meditation program during these past few weeks, because I was really connecting to spirit, and I was really feeling all of this higher consciousness energy within me. And I have been spending a lot of time in silence, in solitude, and then I got the message and I created something very original, even original than what I've created in the past. And that's my new mindful meditation program. It's a 6-phase program to help you to activate and develop your third eye, your intuition. Very powerful when you meditate. So if you're wanting to do that and you're wanting to sharpen your third eye chakra, definitely check out that program. And yeah, let's see what else wants to come through. And it's interesting as well that in my the fashion show for August of 2021, the theme for August that I came up with was a whole new world, and it ties in perfectly with what we are going through energetically. We are stepping into a whole new reality. It could even be a little bit of a shattered reality of what you thought your life was going to be like, and now it's being completely flipped around, but for the best. And it's only for your higher good. So we need to trust in God's decisions, in His direction, in His instructions, because it's all for the plan, the divine plan. And we're to just trust this cosmically, because we all have a specific mission and a job in this bigger picture of God's plan, and we all need to just fulfill it in whatever way that means. And it might shock you in perhaps the role that you thought you were going to play, but you're being asked to play another role, and that this is divinely guided. So the weirder it seems, the guidance, that's actually more divine. It means that that's God speaking to you, because God always gives us pathways and ideas that are very original and even revolutionary, meaning they're just so different than the norm. Because if they were the same, then what's the point, right? You would be doing the same thing that everybody does. You would be going along with the crowd. So being original means doing something different and actually standing out from the crowd. And this can feel isolating, but at the end of the day, it's for a higher cause. So again, just go with it and trust the process, okay? So I feel like this is the part now where I'm gonna go and bring in my oracle reading, bring in some deeper thoughts, because even myself, I need guidance for this new cycle. I feel like it's very different than what we've been dealing with this past year and a half even. And you know, I've been doing these spirituality retreats consistently for the past year, and even the past year specifically. And I love coming up here. It's just so healing, and it's evolved as well as everything has in my brand. And I feel like now, you know, we are really on point with the energy, with the guidance. So definitely take this to heart and try to apply it in whatever way this can resonate with you in your life, because it will, if you open your mind and your heart to let it speak to you. All right, so I'll be right back with my cards and we'll get started. All right, so I'm going to bring in my Crystal Power Tarot. And we have a few that just came out of nowhere. You see, these are these changes that come out of nowhere. And we have, first of all, the Ten of Swords in reverse. So this is a very powerful message about letting go of doubt, anxiety, fears, and affirming to ourselves that I see the truth in this ending. So this can be, actually revelations of truth that we are going to be receiving to help us make wiser decisions moving forward. And we got the crystal sugaline, so that'll be a good crystal to work with to help you to get this truth, help you to really sharpen your intuition, because it is kind of like amethyst color. If you see it here, it's like the amethyst color. I've been working a lot with the amethyst crystal, and that's what's been really activating my intuition, giving me the answers that I've been asking God to clarify. So maybe it can help you as well. I'm going to look it up here today. Okay, so we have a sudden ending, which makes sense because it's a full moon, right? This 10 in the conflict-ridden suit of swords, so if you've been battling something in your mind or just having this inner conflict of confusion, you're getting the answers. This shows an outcome that is unexpected and sudden. This card denotes the end of a job or even a relationship. And now it may feel like a fast unraveling. On reflection, you see that it may have been building for some time, so it's the best decision. There is a finality here, which suggests that the situation or relationship is completely over. So this can be correlated even with the Major Arcana card, the number 8, which is the Death card. Sorry, the number 13, which brings necessary endings so that you're able to quickly transition into a new phase. So there is this new phase that we are beginning this Monday, after this Saturday, right? And let's get a confirmation. Maybe what's this change about, and what is this ending necessarily about? And whatever answer you were thinking about, it might be that one that you got in your mind, right? Sometimes that's how our mind speaks to us. Another great crystal to work with is the selenite. I love the selenite. I have a selenite with me. And we have the Hangman. The Hangman is about not taking action, actually. Seeing from a different perspective, shifting our perspective. Maybe you need to flip things around the situation. I can see the situation in another way. And there's like 7 little steps here. And this man is just hanging and surrendering to the journey, to the process. And he's being enlightened in this surrender. And many times, the Hangman is also a little bit associated with the Hermit, because in order to get this enlightenment, you need to be in your own energy, right? And we got the Ace of Wands, which is the victory card. And it's also the inspiration card. It says, I am inspired to follow my passion. And we got the garnet crystal here. It's another great crystal that I love to work with for helping us to rejuvenate ourselves, giving us this vitality and just passion for life. So I'm going to look these up as well. And look at this. This is the number 7 card, the Hangman. A young man is suspended upside down from a tree. The tree is a representation of the tree of life, a sacred symbol of the enduring connectedness of all things. He is tethered to a branch by 1 foot, yet he appears unharmed and peaceful, awaiting whatever the future brings. The luminous selenite rocks below him symbolize his connection to the spiritual world. And that's what we are being guided to do, is to connect more into the spiritual world. My mindful meditation program is going to help you with this. You may feel in limbo as you wait for events to speed up or for others to make a move. See, we're like in this waiting period. And I feel like the waiting period is about to end because we're being thrust into a new direction. So this card asks you to make the most of this impasse and see your situation from another angle. An additional meaning is considering a compromise as a way forward. Spiritually, the Hangman can show meditation, spiritual awareness, or even spiritual initiation. Now this crystal selenite, a spiritual connection and healing stone associated with the crown chakra, these revelations that we're getting, supports your intuitive knowing and connection with your guides and angels. Whenever you need to dispel the negativity and find a spiritual perspective on your situation, hold the card and focus on the selenite crystal within it, and then sense the messages that come through. Very interesting. And then let's look up the Ace of Wands. You see, this is this new beginnings. How appropriate, right? We're stepping literally into this new beginning. Wants to speak to us, jump out, right? The Garnet. Okay, so the Aces reveal new beginnings. The Ace of Wands shows a fiery new initiative, a new idea, or enterprise takes off, and you are inspired to drive forward your vision. This is a quest that speaks to the soul rather than the intellect, so that you have a passionate connection to a person, project, or place. It can also mean male fertility and can also even indicate future parenthood. So that's just something for many of you out there. Right, so let's get now, I like this deck to work with today. Let's get a final guidance for this cycle, this full moon cycle. The Magician. This is about taking action and alchemizing our dreams. These dreams, these Ace of Wands dreams, affirm I manifest perfectly what I desire. And there is a sword, a cup, a pentacle, and even like a crystal ball, because this man here sees the future. And what's standing in the way of anything is the Seven of Cups in reverse. Too many decisions perhaps, maybe too many options, and you need to decide which option. That can be a guidance. Citron can help you with your solar plexus chakra. Be more confident, raise your self-esteem, and just go for what it is that you desire. Very interesting message. I'm going to look up the Magician here. We definitely don't want to keep too many options open, right? If anything, choose one path. And of course, this kind of sounds like relationship advice. So it might be for some of you out there. It can also be lack of imagination. Maybe you need to see the infinite possibilities and fantasize, daydream more about new routes, originality, creativity. The mysterious Seven of Cups actually shows that there's much going on behind the scenes that we don't see, hidden from view, right? You cannot yet see exactly what you are dealing with. Until then, your imagination knows no bounds because you have little information to go on. And now, while this is a positive card for creative projects and manifesting what you want, an additional meaning is fantasy. So you might ask yourself if you're escaping reality, avoiding what needs to be done in the material world. So if you're feeling up in the air, focus on one option at a time and focus on actually making it real, hence the Magician. The Magician is at work performing a ritual. The tip of his wand touches the infinity symbol, signifying his connection to universal energy. His left hand is like God's touch, right? His left hand points downward, bringing celestial energy to the earth. On his table are his resources: the sword, the pentacle, the cup, the crystal wand, which represent the four suits of the Tarot's minor arcana. In the center of the altar is a citron crystal ball, empowering the Magician's intention to manifest what he desires. So this Magician brings energy to any situation. It tells you that now is the time for action. You will receive messages, offers, and even long-awaited news. In work and personal projects, you may feel inspired to bring a dream a step closer to reality. And as every area of life speeds up, travel is also auspicious under the Magician's influence. So this can be in the cards for you literally traveling somewhere. Overall positive and dynamic change is in the air. So the crystal citron brings the gifts of energy, optimism, prosperity, abundance, clear communication, and good financial decisions. It is linked with the solar plexus chakra for personal power and vitality. Citrine is a manifesting stone, a crystal that you can wish upon to attract and bring whatever it is that you need, whether it's a partnership, a project coming to fruition, better health, whatever it may be. So focus on this crystal whenever you need to bring your dreams into reality. So powerful message for today. Let me bring in another deck and I'll be right back. Alright, so I'm going to bring in some astrology cards to give us more confirmations about what's happening in the stars, because there's a lot of rare astrological events happening at this time, and so this is basically written in the stars. That's how astrology works, which is why it fascinates me, because there's a lot of truth in it, okay? And there are things that we can't control, literally, because God has written them already in the stars. And so this is a time, look, we got the moon card, our soul, our true higher soul coming up. I want to look it up. Why not? And there's a lot of green. And it's the number 2 card. And look at this. The quote that we got is from Saint Teresa de Avila. All things must come to the soul from its roots, from where it is planted. This is about truly connecting to our soul gifts, our soul talents, our soul passions. What does your gut say, says the moon card. This card is all about mystery, feeling, and hidden messages. The moon is receptive. It governs intuition and self-protection. Its placement by sign and house indicate those areas to which we are the most emotional or sensitive. The moon represents what is felt instinctively and what is at the core of our emotions. In the astrological chart, the moon is our soul. It shows the intimate side of who we are. The moon represents security, the home we grew up in, and the need to hide away and recoup our energies. It is the female principle that is darkly moist and yielding. So the moon can signify our relationship with our mothers as well as even pregnancy. It also signifies our grandmothers and even old age, so geriatric issues can arise. Crowds belong to the moon, but also shyness, reticence, and things that occur in darkness, hence behind the scenes, right? The moon shows how we respond emotionally and what we feel most deeply. Some believe the moon represents who we are in secret and also memories from and who we were in past lives. The moon is our innermost self. About this matter, do not be shy. Allow yourself to shine. Allow your true self to emerge. It can also indicate fluctuations in your life. The moon changes signs every 2.5 days. So 12 different moon combinations mean great variation. But the moon is a side that we keep concealed. In a horoscope chart, when the moon has many aspects or is the most elevated planet in the chart, it is considered to have a strong influence. The lunar influence can be indicative of future fame, governing the masses, what is likely to be popular. At this time, you may have trouble controlling your emotions, and you may want to do things that are safe. You are being sensitive. You are very sensitive, and you must gauge any feelings before entering a room or being with people that you don't know. You like working alone, but you're also dependent on how others are responding to you now. So the arts and helping professions suit you. You could do well working with persons with mental or emotional problems, or anyone who needs counseling. It is also a good time to rely upon your imagination and pay attention to your dreams. When this card comes up, all is not as it seems because something is being obscured. You may feel like you have lost your direction or that you don't have all the information to go forward. There is much that you're sensing but may be hesitant to act. So it may look as if it is difficult to cut through the fog to get to the real truth of any situation. Substance abuse issues can touch people's lives, so if you're dealing with addictions, not you necessarily, but certain energies or persons surrounding you. So after growing close to someone, the energy may feel smothering and restrictive. Insecurities may arise and there may be feelings of paranoia. We love our moon though, she makes us feel safe. So someone's emotional clinginess may be an issue. After all, the moon tells us to hang on. Oftentimes, after we should have released things from our lives or just given up. And that's what full moons are about. It's about releasing anything that's not serving you. But the moon is telling us, hang in there, you'll win sooner. Okay, let's jump onto the next deck and see what else wants to come through. And we got the air element. So again, this is definitely about connecting to the spiritual realm. Venus is about our projects. So daydreaming is what I'm getting here. And about bringing love into all that we do, right? And let's look it up. I feel like definitely looking up every card today, because I feel like today there's a lot of reading here. Look at this, crisp, ethereal, and decisive. The energy of the air elements, spending time in fresh air, fuels the winds of truth and whispers grand insights. Clarity and truth are supported by rationality, reason, common sense, and logic. Air energy breaks any stalemates and stagnation through wise decision-making and mutual understanding. Bring the quality of air to a situation by seeing things as clearly and objectively as possible. Focus on the facts and not on the stories that we like to attach to those facts. Only truth, calm communication, comprehending the points of views of others, and promoting understanding of all sides. And then the Venus card is telling us here, the planet of Venus is associated with Venus, the goddess of love, fertility, and beauty. It's about what you value, such as money and possessions, but also your ideals. Love, relationships, and partnerships is also being touched up during this time. What do you value in a relationship, right? That's important, because that's going to help you decide who's the kind of partner for you, right? Principles and values. Do you share the same moral beliefs, etc.? And let's get a sacred geometry activation oracle today. Wow, third eye chakra. Couldn't make this up, right? This is definitely our intuition being touched here, activated, our inner knowing, intuition, imagination, psychic powers even. And then we got the Gaia, which is Mother Earth. Spending time in nature can help to activate this. It reminds us, the frequency of Gaia, that we are infinitely connected to one another, just as we are to our Great Mother and to the universe that birthed us all. And we are also birthing a lot of newness coming in. All right. I'm going to bring in a few healing cards to close up today's spiritual talk. Alright, so let's bring in some Heal Yourself cards. I haven't brought these in a while, and I've really been feeling called to these lately. Alright, let's see what comes through here. Interesting that we got the Selling Out card at the bottom, and this is a card that actually talks about our fears. Your integrity and inner strength are being severely tested during these times. You have an opportunity to act with either fear or love. Whether Where in your life are you selling out or acting out of integrity? Are you in a job that you hate, but why are you staying there? Are you living in a toxic environment and making yourself sick in the pursuit of financial security? This card asks you to find the courage to stand up for your convictions and take steps towards doing what you love. Selling out is linked to the shadow aspect of the prostitute archetype. When you connect to this archetype, you can examine your fears around survival, power, responsibility, and success. And on the light side, the prostitute can lead you to freedom, self-expression, choice, and love. So this is helping us to regain our inner strength and make empowering decisions. Let us ask what these decisions are about. And we have the entrapment card. And interesting that there's a doctor with a mask here. You know, it's kind of like what happened many years ago in plagues, right? That's what they used to wear. I want to look this one up. Entrapment, number 34. You are letting too many things in your environment control your life. This is a time for a shift in personal power. So it is tying with the question that we just asked. You are encouraged to take responsibility for your life and choose new ways of thinking that will create change. The reality is that for you to make the changes you want, need, and desire, you need a system which consists of daily discipline and motivation. As long as you blame any outside influences for any circumstance in your life, you are powerless. It's the government, your abusive background, the interest rates, and the banks fall. The system that many ultra-successful people use is that they read books every day, listen to audios, go to as many seminars as they can, practice recognizing others' achievements, and form relationships with like-minded people. So ask yourself today, are the people in my life building me up and inspiring me? And if not, it's time to take charge and start making change in your environment. Your first step could even be cutting out all negative media from your daily life. Another step can be involving changing your diet, cutting out sugar, food with MSG or GMO, and replacing them with fresh organic vegetables. Take a moment and say the following affirmation to yourself. I am in control of my life. Nothing can affect me unless I choose to let it. My thoughts create my reality. Keep repeating this until you feel stronger, and eventually you will believe it, and it will help you to make new, wiser decisions. Remember that your words and self-talk are very powerful in altering your physiology. So what I'm getting here is that we really need to change the way that we speak to ourselves. And we got the patience card here. I just flipped over to here, and it's just about needing to develop patience in all of our life. And look at this. Patience does not mean that you give up and do nothing. On the contrary, you need to be aware of several aspects of the circumstance that you're facing. Patience requires you to stop pushing, rushing, and creating potentially explosive situations. Instead, it asks you to see the bigger picture and become aware of the ingredients that might be missing. If you are impatient with a particular person, instead give them space. Avoid jumping to conclusions and making up dramatic stories about a person or situation without being aware of all the details. You have an opportunity to let go of judgment. Always look for the truth of the situation not what someone is saying or doing, but why. Patience can also be connected to a health condition that you are recovering from, a new diet or exercise program that you have embarked on, or even a new course of study that you may have begun. So interesting messages from these decks. And look at this, we got the love card. So it could also be patience with this new love coming in. And opening our hearts, our heart chakra. Maybe we need to heal our heart chakra as well during these times to allow this love to come in. There's a lot of heart chakra healing still happening behind the scenes. And now is no exception. Let's get some sacred rebels oracles from our ancient ancestors and elders to close off today's reading. Listening for truth. And look at this, we have like a shell that is from the ocean. Spending time near the ocean can actually help to give us the answers that we're seeking. Powerful truth here. Let's read this one, and that's how we're going to close today and begin our Salmo healing. So listening for truth in number 36. Truth speaks to us constantly, but not always in words. That can be our intuitive nudges that we get, right? It may communicate through a feeling that's hard to put into words, but brings an inexplicable sense of peace, trust, and knowledge that somehow something is going to work out perfectly. Even if there is little evidence of how it is all going to happen, you are being asked to listen for the truths beneath the words, rather than the superficial message of the words themselves. And this is especially true for the communications of those around you, the press, the newspapers, and the mass media. You will begin to hear fear in the words and actions of those around you. Even as they preach love, listen deeper, listen for the truth. This oracle comes with a message of truth for you. You are hearing something that is not being said, and what you are hearing is truthful. You may feel as though you are the only one that is really ready to hear or see it. Perhaps you've been working in a situation or loving in a relationship where truth is consistently denied. We live in a world where truth is frequently avoided out of fear of what it might reveal. At the basis of such actions, consciously or not, is a deep sense of unhealed toxic shame. If you or someone else is fearful that the truth will expose rather than free and heal, then some personal healing is required. It is time for letting go of old wounds in favor of a greater sense of self-love and acceptance. You are being asked to love yourself enough to honor the truth, even if you feel that you are the only one doing so. Sacred rebels need truth like lungs need oxygen. Truth keeps the energy of life flowing through the rebellious heart. Lies dampen the spirit of the sacred rebel. Even if those with less awakened hearts fear the truth, you must not turn away from it. Don't resent this state of affairs. Perhaps your job is to show that truth can be witnessed, even when many may want to hide from it. What others do is always their choice. But through your honorable deeds done with integrity, you will be set free. No matter what the outcome, you are a truth seeker. Never deny or try to quiet this down to make others comfortable. You are meant to be an agitator at times. Even though you don't know, you don't have to confront people to do it. You don't necessarily have to say a word, though sometimes you will. Often you will agitate in the most loving sense by unveiling truth simply through your knowings. Hold compassion for the truths that you behold. Do not use them as knives to cut another or yourself with harshness. but as the clear insight that allows one to loosen the knots that bind, simply by knowing which thread to gently tug. So this oracle brings you guidance. If you've been worn down and depressed by any lies, gossip, deceit, or any even backstabbing going on around you, don't fret. Get out in nature and spend some time communing with the infinite, which is the spiritual realm. Healing will come to you now, no matter how many times, in how many ways, or by how many tongues untruth is spoken. You know what you know in your sacred rebellious heart. That truth is your connection to the living truth of life itself. Don't give up. Just open up to healing and know that the truth always, eventually, will prevail. Alright, so let's end with a little bit of a healing process. Place your hand very lightly at the front and back of your throat and say, I now release all vows of silence that I have ever made, consciously or not. I now release all lies, deceptions, and painful words, spoken or unspoken, that are affecting my ability to clearly know and speak my truth. I am held in unconditional love with protection and grace, and so be it. You have finished your healing process. You might like to say something true just to anchor it. How about, within me, beyond all that rises and falls, only truth remains. And the next card is interesting. Focus on the light. Just focus on the light within you and in the world as well. And we got the restore and replenish. There may be a need to replenish at this time. You are in need of something so much deeper than rest. You need restoration, replenishment, and revival. This will not necessarily come from lying about somewhere, taking a moment out of your day or evening activities. You are more likely to gain what you need by breaking with your routine completely and doing something totally different. You need variety, some spice, some change to bring fresh energy into your body, mind, and heart. You need to restore and revive yourself by changing the usual flow of energy through your being. You could stimulate this process by going to a different place, meeting different people, and taking different action to what you normally usually do. You can then return to your regular routine in time if it feels good for you. However, it's now time to move without pushing yourself beyond what is known, comfortable, and familiar. This oracle comes with a message from the great loving guardian, which is life itself. You have been working so hard and have accomplished so much already. However, you often sell your accomplishments short, which that's why the selling out card came up, you see. You think that you haven't done enough, but you've done more than enough. And then you focus on how much more is yet to be done, rather than being proud of what you've done, right? Life is telling you that it is time to put down the paintbrush, the pen, the endless list, and the thinking mind, and get into your body. Take the time to now experience yourself in and out of nature. Remember how to just be. And in doing so, even if just for a relatively short amount of time, you will feel more of yourself and ready for the next phase. You might be surprised what just a day or two of this can do for you. Restoration does not have to be a long and involved process, especially if it's attended to when needed. So this oracle is also confirmation that you are in an important transition phase between one level of experience and the next. If you feel as though you are treading water or are in a sort of purgatory, somewhere between your old life and your new life, then this particularly applies to you. If you can't quite break into the level that you're reaching for, have faith. You're just taking a breather between races. Soon you will have the power and energy that you need to reach the next level and succeed. So if you've been considering a new endeavor and have recently started one, then this oracle brings a message of encouragement. Yes, this is a good step forward for you. You might be worried that you're taking on too much, but you are encouraged to take time out to rest and rebalance yourself, but that you are supported in your need for new and different experiences to refresh your spirit. You may let some of these new endeavors go once that you have gained what you need from them. However, they are useful now. You are encouraged to trust yourself and to know that you are working consciously to meet your own needs, and this is healthy and good. So this also comes with a guidance for your healing, of restore and replenish. If you've been under the weather, you will be soon well again. If you've been working on healing your body, mind, or soul, then this oracle comes with assurance that what you're doing is working and brings you benefit. Even if you are yet to experience the full extent of that benefit, continue with your work and know that you are indeed healing. So let us do one final healing process. Imagine that you're floating in an ocean that has colors of turquoise to deep green and darkest, deepest blue. Notice what colors feel good. Enter and remain in that space for as long as you might. The water might be warm and sparkling, shallow and heated by the sun, or cool, deep and mysterious. Allow it to be whatever feels good to you. And when you're ready, open your eyes and break that routine of yours. You will have completed your healing process. Wonderful message for today. So break whatever habit or routine that you've been on for these past weeks and try a new route, try something different. That is, I'm getting the guidance for this full moon in Aquarius. Release what needs to be released. Release the heavy burden and try something lighter. So I'll see you all right now for the sound bowl healing session. Thank you all for listening to this, and I will see you in just a few minutes. Namaste. Hello my soul family, welcome to our sound bowl healing session today for this full moon in Aquarius of 2021. My name is Christie Ramirez and I am your health and wellness expert. So let us just close our eyes, lay in Savasana if you like, and just embrace these sound frequencies that is going to heal our aura, cleanse and purify us back to full restoration and healing that is just so much needed during these times. So let's begin. Trust God and trust yourself. These intuitive messages that you are receiving are true, are correct, are the way. Focus on your spiritual eye and just press on that point. Take a deep inhale and a deep exhale. You are safe and protected. Your aura is like a shield to the external world. Trusting your guardian angels that surround you. Trusting God's judgment in the wheel of karma and destiny. And know that all will turn out as it should, as it was meant to, as it's written in the stars. always for you. Remember that life always happens for us, not to us. So just trust in the events in your life, the situations, the directions that we're guided towards. It's always a blessing in disguise. You may not know immediately why, but eventually you will realize it was for the best. There are things that are out of our scope of vision that only God has access to. God, the all-seeing eye, the all-knowing, knows everything and sees everything, right? Especially what's in our hearts, our intentions. So there's no fooling God. And God will always protect and defend us, especially when we serve God and we dedicate our entire life to God's mission work. We are at the forefront of God's list of the blessed ones, the chosen ones, the divine children, because we choose God, so God chooses us. We all have the choice and the open opportunity to be with God or not. So there's no excuses, but only results. God is here to remind us that through faith we can conquer all fears, all obstacles, all challenges that might stand in the way, but that is the illusion, because there's nothing that can stand in our way. We are untouchable and unshakable, because with faith we can do all things. Through spiritual strength, we are powerful enough to reach our fullest potential. Meditate on this for the next 2 weeks and just allow this healing to take place, this transformation on a deep cellular level to be rebirthed within you. This is a true deep healing that's taking place as if by a miracle. And Jesus Christ is present with us here to see this process done. Mother Mary is always looking out for us as well, overlooking our well-being, our sacredness, that we remain pure and in alignment with Spirit, the Holy Spirit. Thank you all for joining me in today's Sambo healing session. Listen to this video as often as you need and just surrender. Thank you again.